Alright, guys, welcome to the podcast. Here with Zach, also known as Sprite, we're with Soul and Alice. So, say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I swear I'm not holding them against their will, they're just always awkward like this.
No, I'm being forced to do this at gunpoint.
Yeah, obviously.
It's scary.
Yeah.
In my room.
Rocket's scaring me.
Obviously. Okay, so, what we're gonna do today is gonna be a little bit different. Basically, we're gonna go over some replays. I think we have 3 of them to go over. So we're gonna analyze and see what's up. I don't know if Soul told his friend that we're doing this right now.
Oh yeah, I need to tell him real quick.
Yeah, you might want to have him watch while we go over it.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, we're gonna go over 3 replays, and then after that, we're gonna talk about the sandbox changes, because everybody wants to talk about the sandbox changes, because HE changes are pretty big for the game. And we'll see how they impact the game. Yep. For now, we'll just we'll wait a little bit and see. Want a 4th replay? I mean, is it a bad replay, Neko? Because we're like trying to teach people, right? That's what the 3 replays are for. Yeah. All right. Well, that was a little bit of dead space there. Has your friend responded yet?
No, he is not. I think he's offline.
Oh.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna go over it anyway and just send him the video.
Yeah, you can come watch it on YouTube or whatever.
Yes. Speaking of which, What the Fuck gets uploaded to YouTube on Wednesdays. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow, so it might be a little bit later than usual. But Wednesdays is when it gets uploaded to YouTube. I'll usually post a link in somewhere where you guys will find it. It'll either be in the WoT Discord, the Community League Discords, or my own Discord. So if you want to join my own Discord, I think I have a command set up for it, !Discord. Neko, yep. Alright. Alright, well, let's get into reviewing this replay, shall we? Just let me know when you guys want to stop. Okay.
Alrighty, let's do it.
So we're in the countdown. No, just oh, I hope you guys like the placement of the overlay. You can actually see people's names this time. It's really neat, right? I figured out how to move it. Really tricky, because sometimes it breaks. But yeah, alright, we're about to go in here. See what Random Static does. Random Static, what a name.
Your stream broke, so I had to rewatch it.
The stream broke?
Yeah,
well, I mean,
not the Twitch stream, the Discord stream.
Oh, is it
It's just
showing
lagging
for
out.
everybody?
Know what the fuck my PC's doing right now.
Is it good for everybody else?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay. Alright, so we see him and his bat chat 1210 here, going to the middle. Pretty typical for a scout, although the bat chat is kind of slow for a scout, and he finds an EBR. What was that? Aim your shots, dude. Oh, we're not locked into his view. Here we go, now we're locked into his view. Maybe he did aim that shot. Gonna take back that criticism because that was my fault. Probably. But he's making his way over to the 1-2 line, it looks like. We'll see where he goes to set up here. If he goes to snipe, I swear to God, I'm just gonna close the replay.
He doesn't.
Okay.
I'm gonna spool it up, watch the replay, so I know what he does and all that.
Okay. Well, at least he's not, like, sitting behind the tank destroyer trying to snipe. And why hasn't he clipped yet? Why hasn't he clipped? He would have been fully reloaded by the time.
He said that he went over to the 1-2 line so that he could go unlit, which personally I think is way too far of a stretch to take to go unlit.
Alright, hold on, I'll pause this. You don't even need to do that, okay? So if you're looking on the map here, and he's here, and he wants to go unlit, there's a ton of, like, bushes and shit. He can just go back over here by this rock and get unlit. Well, I mean, going to the 1-2 line is fine, but he can just come back to the 3 line and go unlit. He doesn't even have to, like, move that far from the ridge to get unlit.
I was gonna, like, realistically, he could just go in circles right here and be unlit.
He can just literally go in circles in this bowl or in this bowl, because nobody's going to over-peak that bowl. Just as long as you're not too far down, you won't get spotted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now resume. Why hasn't he could have clipped like 3 times!
That was one thing I mentioned to him earlier, was that you need to, if you're not going to be engaging something, you reload.
He's trying to get unlit, but he goes and gets lit before he does his main scouting run? I don't understand. Like, if your goal was to get unlit, go all the way underneath the ridge here and do your run like that. Because obviously this wasn't your main run. This was your main run, right? So, like, if you're going up over here to get lit, that destroys your purpose of going down here. So, like, just think situational awareness, right? Obviously, there's a good chance you're going to get lit crossing this because it's higher than all the other parts. Plus, it's closer to the 1-2 line where they're going to have stuff sitting stationary anyway to spot over. Just literally run underneath the ridges, then go, if that's what your spotting run is.
I'm gonna restart Discord real quick because the stream is getting like 2 frames a second for me, so I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Welcome back.
That's much better, yeah.
Alright, so he's making his way back to the 2 line again? What is the like, you can get shot all up on there as soon as you're spotted. Why are you going up so high? Like, I get you're in a light tank, but you're also not in a fast light tank.
That was one thing I mentioned to him, is like, you should, in EBR meta, especially when there's an EBR, he just outclasses you in active spotting, so...
And he still has not clipped yet! It's almost 3 minutes into the game! He's still 1 shell down! What is he doing?
This is funny though.
What? What? Why? Don't stop there. You can be shot, dude. If people are paying attention, you get shot for that. The EBR missed a shot, and you're lucky.
He makes some interesting pokes.
And he's going to... What is... It's so reckless. Like, it's so reckless. And is he gonna clip now? No. No, he's... What? Why, dude? You have 2 shells. That's half your clip. It's been 3.5 minutes. Oh my god, dude. What if you get into a fight now? You can't even win against that EBR now. Oh my god, he penned a shot. EBR pens one of his HE on him as well, though. Now he clips. Now he clips. Got 1 shell left. Better clip.
1 shell left. Take it easy.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm making fun of this guy, but like, seriously, just clip earlier. You had 3 minutes with... You played for like 3 minutes with 3 shells in your clip instead of 4, dude. Up there's the EBR again. Progetto bounces it. What is this guy's luck? Can I have it? Look, and now he's just going right into the middle of all of them. What is he doing? What are you doing? You saw them all! Aim your shots, please! Oh my god! No! No! Alright. Hold on. Hold on. What was... I wish he was here. I gotta know the decision making. Why go into all of them? Are you thinking like, this is my only chance to get damage? I know the game's almost over, but Jesus, man, don't be suicidal. Holy jeez, oh my. Alright, so obviously, there's like three things from my point of view that I can say about this. One, you need to learn when to clip. Two, you're taking too many risks when you're spotting. If there are good players on the enemy team, they're gonna kill you for that. And three, well, man, just try to get as much damage as you can. It's a pub battle. The team hardly ever plays for each other. Gotta think about yourself. Instead of diving in at the end there, you could have went back by your ISU and gotten out like 2 more clips.
That's one thing that I had told him when I went over it.
You're in a bad chat 12 ton, you're not going to pen all of your shots. But you are going to be able to reload quick and put out 4 shells. I don't know. Just that and aim your shots. Like, if you aimed your shots on that ISU, you would have gotten at least 2 more shots of damage.
One thing that I did tell him is after, like, you don't want to realistically keep activating the middle ridge because what's going to get spotted there that wasn't spotted before when you first active spotted. So, like, I told him, you know, you could do the play where you active the middle ridge and then camp on the other side of the rails and light the hill from there passively, or come back and hit up that other bush, or go get an early spot on the hill and do it all in one move. There's a whole lot of other options that could have been taken there at the beginning.
Yeah. I don't know. And, like you said, his explanation going to the 1-2 line to get delit, and then just coming back and getting relit before he does his main scouting run anyway.
I feel like since he's a new player, he doesn't have the perception of how long it really takes to get unlit, like how long 10 seconds really is.
Okay.
So,
I'll say this for your own good right now. So, listen, random. There's a mod you can download that it keeps your sixth sense on until you're delit.
I used to use that a lot when I was first getting to learn the game so that I would know how long, like, get a feel for how long 10 seconds really is.
Now you gotta be careful with the mod though, because the way it works is from when you're first spotted. So if you're staying up there a couple extra seconds, you need to make sure you're down a couple extra seconds past when the thing turns itself off. Because it's not tied to the server, it's not going to show you that you're always lit. It's just going to tell you that you got lit, stay on for 10 to 13 seconds, and then go away. But in general, it's just a good idea if you're poking something and backing down right away. Okay. Any other comments?
See, with white tanks, I really wouldn't be circling the middle ridge unless you are a Willy. That's one thing I saw that was really bad. When you're not in an EBR, there's no sense to keep running those routes in the middle. I think you should be going to like here's a bush in like F1 up top, or there's bushes down below like E1. Even further back to like, I don't know, I think up forward to D1. There's bushes that can sit in there and you spot everything that's in front of you. That's just my insight on it though.
Yeah. My favorite bush on this map is right here. D1. Right in this group. Okay. Well, should have gone at C1. Good passive spot. Yeah, also C1 is good. There's a ton of bushes in this line you can go to and up here. Alright. On to the next one then. I believe it is the same person, same tank.
It's the second one from him, and it's on highway. And there's a lot of places to critique.
Okay, well, we're getting it loaded up, so we'll be able to show you guys. So this is replay number 2 of 3 that we're reviewing, and then after that, we're gonna go and hop into talking about the sandbox. Okay, so he's in a tier 8 game. First off, pretty good matchup for him, aside from the fact that there's a Lynx on the enemy team and 3 other light tanks.
Get it, Rocket, get it.
But I don't know, when I see a match like this, especially when I have the batch at 12 ton, it's always good for me because it means I don't have to be the main scout and I can go play in City or something and be an ambush tank.
Yeah. That's what I personally would have done on this match, is something like that. Maybe gone and scouted the trees for a second.
Yeah.
But other than that, gone to the city.
I don't like his spot, especially if he's only going for shots.
Yeah.
So we'll declick and we'll zoom out a little bit here. So the spot he's at, if you look at the bushes, they're see-through. Okay? This only works if you're spotting, but the Senlac and the CBR are going to spot anything before he does. The CBR has less viewing than he does, but he's going to be able to get out further, so he'll be able to spot anything in the field, and the Senlac is going to spot anything in here that he would otherwise spot. So him being there is just, if he shoots there, he's going to get lit. So if he wanted to play safer, he needs to back up 15 meters until the bush goes solid, and then he can play there. And even then, it's kind of rough, because if the enemy light tank gets to, like, along out here, and he shoots, they're still going to light him. Okay. Like I said, just let me know when you guys want me to pause it. Okay, so they have spotted a batch of 12 ton, and like I said, he didn't get the spotting for that. And this Lynx is coming, and that was a... Is he playing on a trackpad?
He's I don't think he's
What are these
he's
shots?
not the greatest at leading shots
He's
yet.
auto-aimed. He
I've
was just
noticed.
auto-aimed. He's auto-aimed.
That was one thing. I already went over this with him kind of and told him my 2 cents on it, and one thing that I mentioned was don't auto aim at something that's moving, because it doesn't work.
Well, I mean, unless you're moving with them in a light
Unless
tank.
you're moving with it, yeah. If you're moving in the same direction, then it can, but don't auto aim at something moving when you're stationary, essentially.
Yeah. Did he even get lit for that? I don't think so, because I think his team
No.
killed the batch at 12 ton before he got close enough to light him.
Yeah, he didn't get lit.
But yeah, in general, don't auto-aim from when that far away and when you're sitting stationary. And... I don't know, man. Like, learn to lead your shots. You have APCR. It's not going to be that slow. If you would have led your shots right, you would have hit those. Lynx is not that hard to hit. It's actually a pretty big profile for a wheeled tank. Again, he's auto-aiming. He somehow got spotting on the Lynx. I guess the Lynx came close enough. What is he? Like, he's not a tank destroyer. He'd be better off going into the city or just even scouting. And it's the same thing, but with clipping. Just clip, dude. They're not going to come out from cover anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, an ISU comes up. You would have 4 shells loaded by the time he got spotted. Okay, good. He pens a shot. He's auto-aiming again, though. Look at this. This is how you can tell. He's not moving his reticle in the center, but his aim path is moving.
I remember when I was first starting out, I used auto aim as a crush a lot. It's just kind of something you have to get over. Also, he's firing complete full gold, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a problem. A lot of people do that. It's just...
Yeah.
It's going to cost you a lot of credits, so you got to be sure you're making credits. Otherwise, like playing premiums or something.
I told him, like, load an extra amount of gold, obviously, since he's a bat chat, but, like, if you're shooting at something that's paper armor,
Pretty sure he
like
was
that
auto-aiming
ISU
again.
that's stationary.
Alright, I paused it. So, when you're auto-aiming an ISU, or other tanks like that, it's really, really bad, because the auto-aim goes to center mast. The only time that's good, usually, is when their side is to you. It's not good when their front is to you, or when they're angled a bit from the front, because what you're going to do is you're going to hit their gun housing. And the mantlet for the gun housing on the ISUs and stuff like that is really, really thick. You're not going to pen it. especially in a bad chat. Now, some other stuff you might be able to with tier 8, the way the penetration values have gone up. Heat shells, you pretty much can't. APCR, high penetration APCR, you probably could. But when you're like, don't auto aim those. Always, even if it's 500 meters away, and you're not confident in yourself, take time to aim the shots. It's going to come out better for you in the long run than just sitting there and holding auto aim and the fire button down.
And also, this is kind of a different subject, but random. With map awareness, if you look at your map right now, the Lorraine 40 ton is up there, and he's in the open, and you could have free farm on that. But instead, because you didn't notice that, you're trying to take shots on an ISU that you have a sliver of a shot on.
Yeah. Honestly, map awareness is really, really big for the game. I've been more so critiquing what he's actually doing instead of looking at the map myself, so that's kind of my bad. Good thing you pointed that out. But yes, you have free farm on the Lorraine. I think there's a little bump down there, the road where he's behind, but I think you're also up high enough where you are personally random that you could shoot the Lorraine. You have to be careful in the situation that you're in because Lorraine does have good view range, and if you're not careful, he could spot you back. So you have to be real careful here with how this is going to play out. Your EBR is off spotting their side of the map, not yours. So you're primarily the vision over there at the moment. I think the WZ and the Scorpion might be the ones spotting the Rain since they're directly in front of them, and I think they're a bit. The Scorpion should probably have max view range. Depends on what he's running, but he should have max view range. So he should be closer than you are, so he should be spotting that Lorraine. Which, in your case, is good for you because you could back up a little bit, make sure the Lorraine's not going to spot you, and you should still have shots on that Lorraine. Alright, let's proceed. Also, somebody in chat asks, Jackson Wins asks, does he think auto-aim is aimbot?
Possibly. No, probably not. He's probably still in that beginner phase of relying on auto aim because he's not good at leading shots yet. Also, one more thing, it's very unrecommended to have high explosive in a clipping tank like this when you have like a 20-second reload, because if you're shooting at artillery, you don't want to be reloading for 20 seconds because chances are other teammates are going to be there and you're just going to lose on damage.
I think it's okay in the bad chat because it carries so many rounds.
What I'm noticing is he doesn't go out of sniper view at all.
Yeah.
Check your surroundings. Look at your map. Don't tunnel vision. Also, he was auto-aiming again on the Lorraine. So, and I actually think he has camo cover through this tree from the Lorraine, so I think that might be what's happening right now. He might not actually be spotting that Lorraine anyway because of the tree in front of him.
Yeah.
So, in case anybody in the chat doesn't know how trees work, as camo, they work for camo when they're up, when they're standing up, and you're behind their leaves, or they work for camo when they're knocked down and you're behind their leaves. They do not work for camo while they're falling down. So if you knock a tree down and you expect it to work as camo, and like you're not lit and you're surprised that you got lit while it's being knocked down, that's because the camo is erased as soon as you knock that tree over, and it doesn't come back until it hits the ground. Okay. Also, does he have more than times 8 zoom? I would recommend going times 16 times 25.
I was gonna, yeah. I think he listened to Pizza when Pizza said that he doesn't play with times 16 and 25.
There's no reason not to. I mean, I think Fanta doesn't play with it either. He's gonna get lit here and he shoots this.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he got lit and the Bulldog is farming him. You should just know to run automatically. Also, don't back up. Just turn and go forward. See, look, you're leaving yourself in the open for a longer time when you do that. If you had just turned and started going forward, your speed would have carried you, and you would be way out of there by now.
His pathing to get unlit is questionable too, because the Bulldog should still have farm on him.
Yeah.
He might be out of his render right now,
yeah.
but
alright, so for instance, instead of... there it is. Instead of going across the ridge like this, you could have just turned around and went straight back to these buildings. Okay, you're in the open for a longer period of time crossing this and then going like this, as opposed to just like turning and going. Also, I said it last game. I'll say it again. Learn when to clip, dude. You could have had 4 shots into the Barask instead of 2. Or what was it? 2 and a miss. So 3. Yeah, 3. Okay. So he's moving back over to his TDs to kind of spot for them. I think his TDs at this point can just spot for themselves. But it's not a bad thing that he's trying to get vision for his teammates. He's probably going to get spotted here for this. Yeah, he does. So, like, he's backing up again. Just go, turn and go forward. Turn and forward. There you go. I'm surprised that Bulldog didn't get much more farm on him.
Yeah.
Or like the WZ didn't shoot him. The WZ must not be there anymore. Luckily, his team has one city, though, so that gives him an outlet to go towards their base, but at the same time, they're also going to be looking at this, so he's got to be careful with what he does.
Yeah.
Again, with the clipping, just clip if you're running away. Knocks over tree.
I don't know why he's sacrificing his damage output by holding 3 shots.
Okay, let's look at this. All right, so the way bushes work is they're a box. It's a box. Okay, the way you're in the bush right now, it's not going to work for you. 1, your tank is past the front of the box. And 2, I don't even think that bush works anyway. Okay.
It doesn't.
And
That's
so
not a real bush.
yeah. And so the way bushes are in tanks, there's fake bushes that are just there to be there graphically. And then there's bushes that actually give you camo. Now, and there's different types of bushes that give you camo. There's bushes that give you half camo. There's bushes that give you full camo. There's bushes that are small but work. So there's different types of bushes. There's like bushes that only an even 90 could use, and there's bushes that even a Moss or a 4005 could use. But generally, it's a box. Some of them don't work, and some of them do work. And to find that out, really, you're going to have to find somebody who either coded the game and knows the game, or you're going to have to go and just literally experiment on your own, because literally almost nobody knows which bushes are fake or real. Unless you go out and do it yourself. So, the bush you're in right now, not going to work. The one in front of you, I think, does work. It's just kind of weird. And you got to be careful with how you're sitting in the bush, because 1, your tracks are a spotting place. You get spotted if your tracks are poking out, if your hull is
No.
poking out. No,
It's the
they changed it?
It's the middle of your hole. The front middle of your hole.
Okay.
Like you could
It
like
used to
if
be
you have a bush,
way back, it used to be the tracks, so they changed that.
there's 2 on the sides of your hole, 1 on the back, your fucking commander port, and then the
Gun
base
mantlet.
of your gun.
Yeah. And if you want a spot, it's your gun mantlet and your commander's hatch. Viewports, I should say, right?
Yeah.
So spotting, you only have 2. Getting spotted, you have like 6. So they're checkpoints, right? So basically, the game throws out what is equivalent to like a radar at your tank, and if it bounces back off of one of the checkpoints, you'll get spotted. So that's basically how that works. Although it's analogy, it's not really like a radar. It's not how they do that, but you know, you guys understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But anyway, you could have knocked the tree down behind you, and that would have worked. You could knock the tree down in front of you, and that would work, or like in front to the side of you, and that would work. Right now, this bush isn't really working. It's not a good bush. Okay, and we resume. Oh, I should probably go into his viewpoint here. Yeah, I don't know. Like, can I slap him upside the head? Literally, the main thing that's bothering me is the fact that he's not clipping when he should.
Yeah.
Alright, so, random, when you watch this, if you watch this, basically, think of it this way. For the amount of time that you've had 3 shells in your clip, you could have put out, like, 2 more clips. of just pure damage. And you're just missing on so much damage farm right now. Why are you so far back? You're a light tank. You can go, like, at this point, you know where the Brask is. You know where the Bulldog is. Just go into the bushes at A6. Spot for your team. Now, your team is actually doing a good job, and Artie just hit that guy for 600? Artie is fair and balanced, by the way. And look, right there. The Bulldog is spotted. He's a one-shot. Wow, he actually hit that? I am surprised. And you missed those. Alright, you can aim in while you're moving. You know this, right? But you would have had a fourth shot if you were reloaded, like, fully. Like, those are the disadvantages you're taking. You have an extra shot to try and get more damage. I think he's doing an okay job with spotting, actually, here. This isn't too bad. I mean, obviously, you could take a little bit better pathing. Coming up behind them isn't a bad idea. You should be able to pick up the Brask here. Why are you... There you go. In situations like that, auto-aiming is alright. You just gotta know what tank you're auto-aiming against. Obviously, the WZ-120, the tank destroyer, it's actually... It turns pretty fast. It's kind of like the 122-44. It also turns really fast. So, it can get its front towards you, which you're not going to pen even with your gold rounds unless you hit his lower plate. And it has the same thing that the ISU has that we were talking about earlier. It has the little gun handling mantlet that you're going to auto-aim at because it's at the center of the tank. And you're going to bounce it. You're not going to pen that. You're going to bounce it. It's really weak. And again, with the 2 shells, just load a full clip. You have the time before you get there. You can't climb this.
Yeah, he was telling me that he thought that he could climb that, and he found out he didn't.
Oh, you could climb it at an EBR. I've done it before,
Yeah.
but not in a batch yet.
Not in a batch yet, yeah. I told him it was this other one.
At this point, his team has the SU, so he should just go for Artie, and I think that's what he's doing. Unless he's going for the cap, which is really weird.
No, I think that we've drilled it into his head not to cap. Go for damage if you already know it's a win like this.
Yep. He spotted Artie. Just take your time. Amen. You don't have to keep moving. Yeah, well, I mean, you finished him, but at that point, you don't have to keep moving once you're already past him and he's a one-shot. You can just stop and take your time.
And another thing with the pathing that he took with the artillery, I told him that instead of just rushing forward across the Artie's vision, you could have tricked the Artie out and had him rotating right as you were driving past him, but then turned right so that you were driving to his left instead of his right, and he would have taken a second to react and still be turning right, so that would give you even more room for him to have to turn, and then you would be on his side more effectively without having the possibility of getting clicked.
The thing about the GW when they're trying to snap you is they have a very low arc for their gun to travel.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very hard. But also, with the way that Artie has been buffed and stuff like that, people, Wargaming said it was a nerf. No, it's a buff. It is a buff. They will, more often than not, snapshot you these days. And it's really, it's pretty bad. I don't know. All right. Well, any other input, Zach? Alice?
He lost out on about 800 damage if he even probably close to 1,000 damage if he would have not auto aimed and actually aimed those shots and map awareness.
I think he missed out on a lot of spotting too.
He missed out on a lot, and then
a lot, yeah. He okay. I feel like sitting that far back on a light tank close to your base, you're being too passive already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's certain situations where I think it's okay. Not necessarily sitting in your base, but also kind of not scouting. One, if there's 4 light tanks in the game like there is in this game, one of you can afford to be an ambush tank or a tank that's not necessarily up the front of the fight. And I think that's fine. I think the Bat Chat is actually good for that role because of the clip that it has and the shorter reload that it has for the clip. 20 seconds isn't very long.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Batchat in this situation should have been an ambush tank, and he probably should have went to the city. But he's got to be careful if he's a new player, because if you're a new player in the city, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But if you play it right, if you go to the city, easy like 2,000 damage. It would be easy for you to get 4 to 5 clips in the city if you know what you're doing. Especially since your team won city so easily, that gives you so many opportunities to go in there and get damage. Your team is holding them down, and the enemy team's not going to expect a light tank to come and just clip them, and then roll out of there and come back in and clip again. So, my advice is when you see a game like this, there's 4 light tanks, and you're in a Batchat, you're probably the slowest light tank there. So you trying to scout isn't necessarily the best thing. Now, if it comes down to where you're the last light tank left, you're going to need to scout. So that's kind of like where you need to have situational awareness and, understand the map and kind of understand the game. How many battles does he have?
I think he has 3,000.
Okay. So yeah, that's relatively not a lot.
Yeah.
So as he progresses and understands the game, situational awareness, map situation awareness, stuff like that, he's going to get better. He's not bad. He's not like for 3,000 battles, I've seen a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's room for him to improve. Just dude, reload your clip.
This is the first autoloader he's ever played, by the way, so he also has that learning curve to get past.
Autoloaders are an ambush, dump your clip, get away type of tank. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So,
especially the French lights are amazing at the getaway part.
Yeah. 50B is also really, really good at it. That's why the 50B is really great.
Yeah.
The 50B, the Batchat, they're all really good. They all have high skill ceilings because they all require a lot for you to be able to play them really well. So, alright. Any more comments? Okay. Alright. Well, we'll go on to our third replay, which is from the one, the only, Bull Blex.
You're gonna love this one because you're gonna see it, and it's actually the map that you have on the placeholder scene that you have for your stream. It's actually Glacier, but you're gonna see a misplay. I actually kind of thought about this replay a little bit, and you're probably gonna laugh at me. I made a miss. It's generally a very good replay, I feel like, but I did make a very embarrassing misplay.
Alright, so we have an EBR, so I'm going to rely on Zach to mainly comment on this one, as like he's probably the best EBR player in the channel right now, so. We got to make this map bigger. Hold up.
Watch the chat, by the way.
Watch the chat. What happens in the chat?
This guy says, whatever team has the better EBR wins the game.
Yo, that Avro Arrow guy
It's like, okay.
always says that.
Does he really? Have you seen him before?
Always. Yes, he always says that. Or he complains about the team.
Or he complains about how Wargaming's rigged and rigs to the better players.
Yeah.
I know I've
The
had my
team with the better
40%
EBR
win rate
wins.
days. Rockets had his. Owls has his.
That was a very good decision, not gonna lie.
Taking the
Stopping
shot
it
on
in
the
the
EBR and then running?
Yes, that is a great decision.
Thank you.
Personally, I would have gone to where the other EBRs because you at least spot and you block them from basically going uphill. Because
You see what that T100 did? Never do that when there's EBRs on the enemy team on this map.
Yeah. That
I'll never
T100
do
gets
it when
raped.
those EBRs right there, or any tank right there.
Yeah, especially like it's just a suicide play this early into the game too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Getting a bit risky here. I don't know. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would never make that play in my life.
You're just kind of sitting in the open. What if something comes to spot you? It's a bad play.
What if someone takes a blind shot? You know, you have already in the game. Already typically shoots that because there's always a tank sitting there for the most
Exactly.
part.
I don't know. I think you're spending too much time in the middle right now. That's just my opinion.
I was trying to I get some really good farm on the Spitzwagen from here, and it was kind of what I was trying to do. I did end up getting lit from that, but
Yeah, but if
the
that Sturb was
Spitzwagen
smart,
is
he would have
completely
just been
no,
shooting
yeah.
you.
I knew he wasn't smart because he's sitting in the middle of the open, so I figured that he wouldn't be smart enough to like actually have map awareness, and it paid off really well because he never once like even looks at me.
Yeah. And this 430U on the enemy team actually made a really good play. That's not a bad play if you can get out of there.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm not rushing a 430. I know what you're thinking.
Good decision. Waiting till he shoots. That's something that a lot of players don't have. You just need to have patience, right? Wait for them to shoot, and then peek out and take your shot. Because if you go in front of him while he's loaded, chances are he's going to switch where he's aiming to look at you because you're closer.
Switching APCR for ABR is nice. Like, I wouldn't have reloaded. I would have just kept that APCR and just, like, you see how he was angled. You guarantee pen that with APCR.
Yeah.
That was
Okay, now that
that was a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. Why are you driving backwards?
Because I wanted to get out of there quickly. I'm also used to the EBR 75 that goes the same speed backwards. I had just played it a game before this, and so I hadn't gotten used to this again.
I see. I see. Good shot onto the Sturb there. A little risky poking up like that, but in the end, it's okay. Hmm.
I think I forgot that I had heat loaded here.
No.
That's why I was shooting it at the side of the Spitzwagen.
I mean, that's all well and good. You could probably actually go 1v1 that Manticore. You'd probably win.
Oh, speaking of that, that's exactly what I thought. I'm glad you said that. It makes me feel better about the play I made.
Well, let's see how you execute it, though.
I execute it well. It's just I get fucked over by certain team positioning.
You could literally ram him. He weighs less than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have just rammed him. You would have taken like 400 to 500 more HP off of him. And there's a 13105 there. Oof.
There's also a leopard one.
That was bad.
And so I lose all of my hit points.
Okay, you just need to be passive now.
Yep. I ended up. I feel like so the mistake was bad, but how I executed the game afterwards, I feel like was okay.
Like, to be honest, you could have gone to like F0, E0, like in that area, and you freeformed the Manticore.
I ended
staying
up.
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
You just
meant by
gotta know that.
fighting
And
in,
also,
too.
like, yellowing in, like, you like take a look at the map, what's spotted and what's not, and obviously since the fucking AMX and the Leo wasn't spotted, the only logical choice was they were 9-line.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially since the Manticore was getting spotted by something that wasn't you, right? Especially, like, what Zach said is really true. It's like, fight them at E0, F0, and you're going to kill them every time.
And
Yeah.
also, how far that Manticore was playing, it should have rung a bell in your head that was like, oh, hey, those teammates right behind him.
Yeah. When I said you could probably fight and kill him, I didn't mean, like, YOLO into there. Although, when you YOLO'd into there, you probably should have rammed him.
Should
I-
also look at your map and realize that's not a shot angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like your other EBR could be doing more.
The EBR's kind of, or the EBR and the, what was it, the AMX? The AMX, like, was retarded.
Now that play you did looking there, that's fine, but when there's a mana core up high like he is, all it needs to do is just poke over and click and you're dead
Yeah.
before you can even react. You gotta also keep that in mind.
Be careful
Like,
with what
think
you're
of this,
doing here, though.
essentially think of this game like chess. Try to, like, outthink them and predict what they're gonna be, and you'll have much easier and better games.
Hmm.
Do you die here?
No, I don't die in this game at all.
Okay.
And I
The
did
HE
circles
shot.
like that because I was keeping my speed up.
Okay, so when you're shooting the E3, the engine shroud, you can pen with HE.
That's what I tried to shoot at, yeah.
It looked
I
to me
didn't,
like you tried to shoot it
aim
in
it
his
down.
top.
I had to make that poke quickly because I'm a one-shot.
Yeah. It's just situational awareness, like the
And,
13105.
right there, I should have died with that shot.
Yeah, you're lucky that the 13105 didn't pen you. You just gotta make sure
Yeah.
you're paying attention to your map, because you could have hidden much sooner.
Also, their artillery is brain dead.
Like, personally, I would have left because you have TDs here. Like, there's nothing that needs to be spotting. I would have just gone
I
up and
wasn't
probably worked the zero line and try to outlight that Leo
I
camping.
wasn't really focusing on spotting because I'm a one-shot. So
Yeah, at this point, you see where your see where your Leo and your FE and your EBR are. Yeah, this you can go all the way around, and you could probably work up the zero line. And the leopard, based on where he shot you from, is probably somewhere around here.
hmm
And if your leopard's up that far already, and their T-57 is back here again, stuff's down here, and you guys are pushing into their base, their leopard is probably back here by now. So you could probably get almost all the way down this road and spot them, and this leopard would have shots.
Yeah.
I don't know, right or wrong, Zach?
Yeah, you're right.
Yo, what's up, Beach? Welcome to the podcast. We're just going over replays at the moment, so
I do have the T28 HTC. Kind of a big deal.
I think Beach meant that he has it now.
Oh, okay.
Could be wrong,
See,
though.
like,
Could
I
be
mean,
you're
like, I have the
spending,
badge. I have the badge for the T28, so
like, the main
probably
issue I
wouldn't
see
end.
right now is you're spending way too much time in this being
Yeah.
essentially useless.
You're an
where you could
EBR,
be
dude.
farming damage.
Yeah.
You're an EBR. If you have it set up right, your camo is like 50%. You could get out of there without getting spotted.
And also, if you cleared out the zero line by now, which you would have at this point in time, you would have been able to set like what H0 and free farm that E3
Rip the
and
E3, by
TVP.
the way. And if you aimed that shot better at the E3 at his side, you could have killed him. Even if you don't have a penetrating shot, you're going to do like 14 damage to him anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're just tunnel vision too much on this TVP and E3 right now. That's... Like, look where the leopard is. I'm pretty sure that 183 is the one that spotted the leopard, too.
Yeah,
So-
you could have easily spotted that and also free farmed that T57 from literally
Yeah.
the zero line.
Now, it's all hindsight speculation, but like I said, you could have definitely gone up like this, because whenever somebody sees something pushing their base, especially in a PUD match, and they know there's multiple tanks there, they're not going to keep pushing your side. And I think this leopard got spotted, and I think that's partially why the other leopard came back as far as he did.
Mm.
So, especially then, like, just, you could go clear this out. Even if you die for it, your team now knows where that tank is at. And majority of the time, they're going to be able to kill it before you die. So, like I said, you're an EBR. If you have it set up right, you have 50% camo. It's going to be hard for anybody to spot you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's risky with already sitting there, especially like, okay, this is one thing for other people that can understand too. If you're putting yourself into a bowl or like a C-shaped outcut, Artie can splash and kill you. There's stuff behind you and beside you. Artie has a really big splash radius, especially if you're down to below 100 hit points. Be wary of where you are at. Not everything is already safe, as you see, right where Soul is. He's in a dip here. But if he hit a little bit closer, like right here, that Artie would have killed Soul. So anything like a backdrop behind it that raises up or like a C-shaped, just be careful because Artie can hit in there and they will kill you if they land close enough. Good job by your Artie taking out the one-shot 2684 that lived forever.
Mm-hmm.
I like that you're moving to try and find angles here. This is actually a good play. And the spot you're in is safe from Artie, most likely.
Yeah.
Behind that rock, and it is safe from the lighting.
I figured that artillery was back in the corner.
Yeah, Panzer.
So, yeah.
Were you counting the shells of the T-57? Because I think he has one left.
I was. No, he has. I think he has one left now. I think he only fired 3. I wasn't I was trying to count, but I wasn't sure not to. I wasn't gonna make that poke.
Yeah. Okay. Your 1315 picks up the kill on 1315, but dies himself. This is where you should just push in now. That Jagdpanzer is almost guaranteed back where he was at.
Yeah.
Oh, your E4 has to be careful. He shot HE at him?
Yeah.
Oh my.
That was
Aim your
stupid.
shots.
I'm trying to keep mobile because I know that the artillery is close. So
He's not going to hit you where you were at.
He ends up. I think he ends up getting close. Because he's not he's in K 4. So.
Yeah, you would
If
have
he
been safe
uses-
when you took your time to aim. Yeah, you would have been alright. I mean, good game though. 4,000 damage. It's not bad. I'm cracked. Definitely not, but okay.
I was thinking for the harms guy because I don't know. I think I was saying for the harms guy because he was like the better EBR wins the game.
The early EBR gets the Artie. You sure he was in K4?
He is. I didn't proxy him because I guess he's smart enough. Which you'll see in a sec. You can fast forward it, honestly. The next roughly a minute. The next minute or so is me just driving around trying to find him.
Hey, you found him. What the fuck was that, dude?
I ended up almost flipping
Yeet!
because I wanted to get there as soon as possible and get damaged because they already capped out.
Like, you should always check that corner. Artie always, almost one already, even if it's a triple already, does guaranteed one to be shoved in that corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the best spot for Artie on that map.
Okay, yeah, so he ended up being in K2. I thought he was in K4, but yeah.
It turns out that he wasn't. Ha ha ha. Alright, I'm gonna put up a replay that I just did from a game that I just played today. And we're not gonna really go over it, but we are gonna talk about the sandbox changes. So, when we watch this replay, you guys can comment on it if you want to. But at the same time, we're going to be talking about the sandbox changes to HE. So I'll just get that pulled up real quick. Let's see, World Tanks. Sandbox 2021. Okay, so the main things that they say about the sandbox, and they said here, it says right here on the page, it says, our main goal is to keep the things you enjoy most about HE shells, fun and exciting gameplay, easy use, high chances of causing damage. And then they said, at the same time, we want to improve the behavior of HE shells during the following negative scenarios, causing high point-blank damage to well-armored vehicles, no matter which part of the armor is getting hit, the lack of demand for HE shells for low and medium caliber guns, and some other frustrating. They really couldn't come up with another thing? Oh, here it is. For example, the situation when the enemy sets your engine on fire after hitting the commander's cupola. Yeah, that's
Told
happened to
you that exists.
that happened to me before too.
Yeah, I got HE'd in my chieftain from a 60 TP, hits the cupola because that's the only thing he sees, and then nope, engine fire. It's like, bro, what?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell is that? But yeah, fun and exciting gameplay. I mean, if you're resorting to using HE, it's not really fun and exciting unless you're going into the game with the goal of using only HE. So, I don't know. High chances to cause damage? Well, I mean, it's HE. So, you're using HE for a reason. That's to cause damage to things that you're not going to cause damage to normally. So, I don't know. What are you guys' opinion of the changes?
I don't like them.
I like it for the simple fact. Now I can play Crown and not be HE'd by 60 TP for 400 average.
Agreed.
Like, I like that part. I don't like how I think it's going to change EBR meta, though. Like, for brawling with EBR against
I'm gonna
EBR.
love it. I'm gonna
Because
love
now EBRs can be full pen by HE, period. If you
I
hit
mean,
an EBR,
they
it's
get
a-
full pen regardless by HE.
No, because if you hit the space side armor or the wheels, I mean, it will eat it and just wheel you. But now HE pens through the wheels.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of the changes are real weird. Like, I was playing on the sandbox, the 183 and the 4K5, they're gonna be changed forever. Like, I tried doing damage to an M454, and all I got was screen not penetrated, and it didn't do any damage. And then I tried to HE a side scraping super conk, and it did nothing. So I'm like, okay, I'll just try to HE another side scraping tank. And I did, and it did nothing. So, like, side scraping really doesn't work too much anymore. If the changes go through the way they are, and I don't know how I feel about that, because sometimes you do need HE to dig out side scrapers, right? And then I played the Jagdpanzer, and the Jagdpanzer, it does like 100 damage to the front of a Type 5 now, so with HE. So I don't know, but I'd rather play the Jagdpanzer if the changes go through than the 183 and the 4005, because the Jagdpanzer gets 420 heat. So, like, are we going to see a thing where instead of bringing 4Ks, people are going to bring Jagdpanzers now? Like, if the changes go through.
What I will say though is, if you're playing a Yag and you're shooting the front of a Type 5, you should be guaranteed auto penning that regardless.
Yeah.
Like, that Type 5 is literally probably the easiest tank to pen. So there should be no reason you're shooting HE at it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, like, like I said, it's just the way that the changes are working. So, it says here on the page is like transition from damage within the burst radius to damage at the point of impact. So they're changing it so that it's not like the way an arty works. They're changing it to the way where the shell impacts. So yeah, the radius depends on gun's caliber. HE shell detonates in the vehicle. Bursting shrapnel, damage, burst radius. And then it has like a little animation of what's going on here, which I might put in the video that goes on YouTube, but I'm not going to show it on here. But it just illustrating the fact of burst damage versus point of impact. And it's just saying that, like, without penetrating the 4005 can do 570 to 850 damage to a well-armored mouse by just shooting the front of its turret and splashing onto its engine deck. So, if the changes go through, that way is going to be done. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. So, just how it is. Yeah, and then
For simple fact is, too many people rely on HE for their damage. Like, you'll have 60 TPs who load probably 2 AP, 1 gold round, and the rest is HE.
Yeah.
And yes, I've seen someone's loadout like that before.
Well, yeah, I mean...
But, like, it's not hard to pen tanks. Especially if you're on level ground with them, it's not hard.
Yeah. I mean, even the 279 gets penned if it's on even ground with you. You just gotta know where to shoot it and where to pen.
Yeah. But, like, I was playing my Pershing when I was steam marking it, and I ran into a Basante on Glacier, and I swear to God, he had 12 HE shots in a Basante.
That's kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie.
He shot me 12 times with HE, when all he needed to do was load heat or even AP CR, and he just goes right through my turret. But no, he resorted to HE because I don't know if he doesn't know how to play the game or what, but like, he was hitting me for about 200 each time. Just kind of getting frustrated, so I'm kind of happy that they're nerfing the fuck out of HE.
Don't get me wrong, HE is, it's HE. I've coming off of playing the Chrysler K, the GF version, and I've been in games where I've literally only had HE shot at me because it's actually pretty strong in tier 8 games. So, like, people just sit there and resort to shooting HE at you, and it does get annoying. It really does.
Like, HE should not be the primary shell you are using. You should actually be using either your AP, like either your basic shells or your gold shells. And then HE for, let's just say, those one shots, or even just cap resets. Like, on every tank, I have 2, maybe 4 at most of HE, maybe 5, like on the Chieftain. But other than that, it's just not HE.
My Chieftain's kitted out for Clan Wars, so it has 12 hesh. So.
Well, yeah, like Cleared Wars, you would use more, but like pubs, you're penning most shit, and if you can't pen something, you just turn and shoot someone else instead.
Exactly.
And there's been times where I hardly ever use my HE. I probably could go 500-600 games without firing a single HE shot in pubs. And that's including playing EBR.
Yep. Getting back to the article here, it says with the changes, the 4005 shooting the same spot on the mouse's turret will do 250 to 350 instead of 570 to 850. So that's noticeably smaller, but at the same time, in practicality, while I was playing the 4005 on the sandbox server, it's hard to do anything. So I think it needs tweaked a bit more to get it just right, because I feel like the way they have it right now is too much, and that needs to be dialed back a bit to let you still be able to cause damage most of the time, just not a lot of damage, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't doing anything when I was playing it, which is a big problem, because if you're shooting HE, it's usually because you want to get at least something out of it, right? It's because you can't really pen, and there's nothing else for you to shoot at. So you're like, okay, I'll see if I can chunk off a little bit of damage, maybe break something, right? So those are like the situations that HE is used for, and it's useful for, and I feel like they're taking them away too much right now. So that's my opinion. It's my opinion. So, and another thing is, like, penetration of screens, tracks, and wheels. We were talking about that earlier. And small obstacles, so like fences and shit like that. The change goes through, you're going to be able to shoot through fences and stuff with your HE rounds, which is going to be huge. Are they going to implement that for heat? Like, what does that mean for heat rounds? Is that coming forward for heat? We don't know. It could, which would be really cool. Instead of your shell just disappearing, you're going to be able to use, people aren't going to be able to use walls as basically obstacles for you not to be able to shoot through. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on penetrating walls with HE?
I think it adds a certain dynamic to the game for things like walls with like heat, for example. Like it doesn't like realistically make sense for heat to go through walls because of how it works in the real world, and I think that World of Tanks is trying to keep some semblance of realism in the game, even though it plays like Pong for most of it, like an arcade game. But I don't know. I feel like the whole HE can't go through walls thing adds a dynamic to the shells. It's kind of like it's better, but it also kind of makes the game like more interesting to have to like think about not using a shell when you're behind spaced objects and things like that.
Yeah, I got you.
Although like typically firing AP through walls, a lot of the time you're not going to pen anyway because it takes off a lot of the penetration value, so really there isn't too much difference there.
Yeah,
unless you're shooting it like a light tank.
Yeah, that's just like my main takeaway from this is just they need to increase basically the chance of you doing damage. And I think that's pretty much it. As long as you're doing less damage overall with your HE shells, I think it's fine. And then there's also the thing with sandbox progression where you can play on the sandbox and get points, and then you can get, WoT premium account, personal reserves, credits, or like a decal and a style. So, that would be up to you guys whether or not you want to do that. And I don't know, test it out, see what you like, see what you don't like about the sandbox. That's really pretty much where I'm gonna leave it off for you guys and possibly for the podcast, since we're a little bit over an hour now, and usually that's about the time we stop the podcast. So, I don't know. Final thoughts, guys?
Nerf already. Actually, nerf already this time,
I
and don't give it
agree.
another buff.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta
I
say.
agree. Also, the game you guys just watched, if you're watching on Twitch or you watched on YouTube, that right there is an ace tanker game, and the 279E finally aced the thing. It only took, I hit a blind shot, so it only took 8k damage, 5200 blocked, and 5 kills. So, yeah,
How
finally
much
though.
assist?
762, not a lot.
Okay. I'll
Yeah,
keep that in mind for when I have to ace my 279.
yeah, it's mainly based on damage and kills, and the fact that I blocked a shit ton, so. Alright, well, thank you guys for stopping into the podcast. Appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that follow button, or what's it? It's a subscribe button on YouTube, follow button on Twitch, and yeah, maybe give us a thumbs up so we can appear on trending. Maybe, I know it's a long shot. There's like we get 30 views and on average on these, but you never know. Anyway, I'm Rocket. Soul is here. Zach is here. He's Sprite. Toxic is Alice. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Yep, see ya.
Goodbye.
Peace.